You're watching SEC Softball presented by Regions Bank. Tonight, number 4 Tennessee returns home looking to regain their swagger after hitting a bump in the road last weekend, while Ole Miss comes to town in search of SEC win number 1 on the season. Alongside Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb. And Kat, for Tennessee, they're coming off a rough weekend in Florida, looking to bounce back starting tonight. And we spoke with Karen Wickley, their head coach, and she said the offense has to be much more aggressive.
Well, she kept it simple. She said they have to swing the bat. Taking too many first pitch strikes and just being too passive at the plate. She wants them to see them control the at-bats from pitch 1 of this ball game.
The offense was limited last weekend in Gainesville. They were held to just 6 runs in that 3-game set, batting .178.
Well, and then big number to me is the 6 runs scored, 4 on home runs. You can't be home run or bust in the SEC. That's not going to be an offensive philosophy that is going to allow a lot of success.
As for Ole Miss's offense, they've been led by star freshman Maddie George.
Maddie George has entered this Ole Miss lineup and absolutely made an impact. A very inexperienced lineup, only 3 returners from last year. Maddie George impressing Coach Traxel with her professionalism, her power, her buy-in to the plan at the plate, but it is paying off for the Rebels. Yeah, she's been among the SEC freshman leaders this year in a number of offensive categories, including top 3 in home runs, slugging percentage, and hits. George and the Rebels offense will be going up against Sage Margetko in the circle. She will get the start for the Lady Vols. Well, the Lady Vols have 3 different arms they can choose from. They're going to give the nod to the junior, having a career year battled a hip labrum tear last year. This year, a lot more execution from Sage Margetko. You see the .88 ERA, absolutely unheard of so far in our game. But she'll throw mid-60s, curve rise drop. The big thing Coach Karen Wickley said is she just wants her to manage the zone a little bit better. Attack it, stretch it a little bit, let your misses be in the right direction, but not too great.
Enters the night with the 4th best ERA in the nation. This staff, the number 1 ERA in the country. So here we go, game number 1 between the Lady Vols and the Ole Miss Rebels. From Sherry Parker Lee Stadium in Knoxville. Rained just a little bit about an hour ago, but we should be good to go weather-wise, Kat, for the rest of the night as Margetko delivers pitch number 1 on the evening to Kennedy Bunker, the senior transfer from Fresno State. Ole Miss's offense in the middle of that order has been led as of late by Cassie Reisner.
Well, Reisner, you see there her 3 for 7 outing against OU, but on a 7-game hitting streak and hitting .500 during those 7 games. A bat that they're going to want to see up in RBI situations, which means they have to set the table ahead of her.
Ole Miss coming off a magical 2025 season. They made their first ever trip to the Women's College World Series and are this year ranked in the preseason polls. That one fouled off by Bunker. They had to bring in 16 new players, 0 returned innings. They faced the toughest schedule in the nation. And Kat, that's a big reason why, despite having an impressive overall record, they are still winless right now in SEC play.
Well, it's really the returning innings in the circle that is key for Ole Miss. When you don't have experience of an SEC pitcher, forces your staff have to get feet wet early, but at the same time, offensively, that's a big load to carry.
Jamie Traxel in her 6th year in charge became the fastest coach in program history to reach 100 wins. That one bounces into Bunker as the count goes full. Ole Miss 21 wins on the year. Tennessee 29, 29-3. Payoff pitch, this one drilled to deep right field, and how about that? Kennedy Bunker with a leadoff home run to start off the series.
Kennedy Bunker did an incredible job fighting in this at-bat. You saw her foul off a couple pitches. Sage Margetko showed her hand a few times trying to go inside. Bunker was late, this time gets the barrel out. That is a deep drive to right field to give the Rebels early momentum.
Well, Kennedy Bunker was moved up to the leadoff spot last week after the Texas series. She homered in her first game after that move against Louisiana Tech and does so again tonight. her 6th of the season. As Mackenzie Pickens fouls one back. This Ole Miss offense, that's their 43rd home run of the year. They're on a record-setting pace after setting the program record last year for home runs in a single season.
You talk about that magical season for the Rebels last year, in large part due to all the offensive records that they set. At the time, Aaron Earlywine, who has since departed and gone to Texas, combined with Bobby Buchanan, who has now taken over the offensive reins, to really help this offense be able to light it up.
Go to first, and there is the first out of the night as Pickens is retired. So one away now, Ole Miss with the early lead, and here comes Percy Yamas, the sophomore first baseman who took the SEC by storm last year. She became the first Ole Miss freshman in 28 years to earn all conference honors as Marjetko misses with the first pitch to her.
Yamas just so stoic at all times, not just in the box. But Coach Traxel talks about, she'll say great emotional control. She says, I don't mean it in a bad way, but I don't think she sweats over anything. She doesn't sweat at practice, doesn't sweat over big moments. Well, that's what you want from a young athlete who's going to be in your lineup from day one.
Very poised at the plate. There is strike one. Marjetko behind in the count 2-1. For Tennessee pitching, we mentioned they're the #1 staff in the nation as far as ERA is concerned. That was just the 17th home run they've allowed as a team on the season. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
Well, the Tennessee staff has been absolutely incredible. See D1 ranks, all 3 of them in the top 10. Marjetko there in the middle, ranked 4th. But 2 having an ERA under 1, that is absolutely unheard of almost these days.
Now Marjetko feeling it. 2nd consecutive strikeout for out number 2. Yeah, this Tennessee pitching staff, 5 pitchers on the staff, none of them have an ERA above 1.40. 2 away for Maddie George. Hot hitting freshman batting cleanup.
Well, the incredible ERAs, it's a combination. You tip your hat to Megan Rhodes-Smith, who has done an incredible job with this staff, but you also tip your hat. The pitchers have to execute her game plan. So while she calls pitches, they have to execute, and I think that's what you see, especially here after the home run from Marjetko. Drop balls on both corners. She's missing down in the zone with them. The changeup froze Yamas, starting to execute a little bit better than she did early against Bunker.
0-2 on the way from the junior. Fouled off.
If Marjetko can use the drop on the inside to lefties as well as her rise and or curve, those will tunnel well. She just showed a lot of curve up in the zone to Bunker on the inner half, and she was able to get her timing and get the barrel there.
This one up the middle, and that one off the glove of Fall. And Ole Miss with the 2-out single as George is fired up over at first.
Not a bad pitch. This is a drop ball on the inner half, except for it doesn't get all the way to the inside corner. That is middle in, and Maddie George able to go down and drive that for a single to center field. Good piece of 2-strike hitting from the freshman.
Big grin on her face, and why not? She is having a fantastic season, leading the team in nearly every offensive category. So she's over at first, 2 away for Cassie Reisner. Junior transfer from Kentucky. Marjetko misses with the first one. What are you seeing out of Marjetko right now?
Well, Marjetko is working behind in the count and then using her drop ball to get ahead, or excuse me, to get even. She needs to work ahead and then let the drop ball be the chase pitch. But right now, when she has to throw one pitch multiple times in at bat, it was the curveball to Bunker, it was the drop ball to Maddie George, Ole Miss is starting to adjust.
20th pitch of the inning a moment ago for Marjetko. Came in tonight 19-2 as a Lady Vol. Now behind 3-0.
You have to tip your hat too to Ole Miss coming in against Marjetko, especially someone who does a lot of vertical separation. you have to have a plan of whether you're going to attack down or up and then be patient on the others. And the Rebels so far have been patient. They've made Margeco work.
3-1 count will be on the way to Reisner. And 2 for 2 in a midweek contest against Tennessee Tech. And a 2-out walk, 2 aboard for the Rebels. It's an Ole Miss team that was only averaging 1.7 runs per game in SEC play, but so far against top pitching staff in the nation, having a little bit of success early. The leadoff home run from Bunker, the single by George, the walk to Reisner as Jamie Traxel looks on. Here's Taylor Roman, former transfer from Louisiana. She takes strike 1.
Well, and Taylor Roman is a very dangerous hitter. She has game-changing power, and it can come at any point in this game. A senior that's well-respected by everyone on the roster, but well-respected by pitchers, too. You will see a lot of them challenge her in tight as she toes that chalk line.
Go ahead 0-2 to Roman, senior out of Missouri City, Texas. And Margeco strikes out the side.
Well, Margeco got ahead of Roman there, was able to retire her, but Kennedy Bunker puts an exclamation point on the start of this game. The deep drive gives Ole Miss the lead as we go to the bottom of the first.
For Ole Miss, senior transfer Emily Boyer will get the start already with a 1-run lead. She leads the team in strikeouts this year with 76 on the season.
Well, we mentioned not a single inning returned for Ole Miss in the circle. Boyer has been tasked to handle a lot of the load. She'll throw in the upper 60s, screw curve, drop, rise, change. Biggest thing is limiting her free passes, but at the same time, she's thrown a lot of good pitches, but needs to learn how to stretch the zone incrementally and not in big ways.
This is with the first offering to Sophia Knight, the junior transfer from Boise State, leading off for a Tennessee offense that's hitting .309 on the season. Lady Vols averaging just over 4 runs per game in SEC play. Ella Dodge leading the way this year with 7 homers and 37 runs driven in.
A lot of the production comes off of the bat of Ella Dodge. Early in the game, that means Sophia Knight has to find a way on. But Ella Dodge is the one who's able to drive it in when the bottom part of the lineup turns it over.
Now, Karen Weekly did say in the finale against Florida, she thought they were too patient at the plate early on. 5 of the first 7 batters took first pitch strikes. Knight swinging away there, scooped up over at short by Reisner, and Sophia Knight is retired. Karen Weekly in her 25th year in charge, 4-time SEC Coach of the Year. Spoke with her this week. She said she really adapted her coaching style in recent years, about 6 or 7 years ago. In her words, she went from coaching tough love to love tough, put more of an emphasis on letting the kids know first and foremost she cared about them, she was there for them. Said she feels more fulfilled coaching these days, and you could see it in the way they've been playing.
I think actually it's the late Pat Summitt who said they care more about that, like they don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the philosophy Karen Weekly has adapted. I'd love to hear her talk about it because obviously Karen has been coaching for a while. I got to see how Karen coached early years here at Tennessee. Have teammates who have played with her or played for her, and it's always fun to see how a coach evolves over time. And as you mentioned, she's enjoying it more, but you see the joy not just in her players but her as well as she celebrates them.
Ella Dodge awaits the 3-0. First base runner of the night for Tennessee.
Both pitchers, the key was managing the strike zone. For Marjeko, she has to be in it early. For Boyer, it's about not losing the control. She got a nice ground ball off of the bat of Sophia Knight. And go right at Ella Dodge, make her be aggressive. As we said, they haven't been swinging early. I would go right at them until they prove they're gonna swing early.
Gabby Leach does not swing early there, takes strike one. The junior right fielder who's second on the team in home runs, batting average, and RBIs. Leach up the middle, Riesner on the bag for one, over to first for two. Cassie Riesner single-handedly making plays this inning. We've completed one here in Knoxville. Ole Miss leads it by 1.
SEC Softball is presented by Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC.
What a season for Ole Miss a year ago. First trip to the Women's College World Series in program history. Eliminated after a couple of one-run losses, but shocked everybody making it there. We talked about how many players they had to replace, but what a performance from last year's squad for Jamie Traxel. 41 wins, 67 home runs. Again, they're on pace to break that this year. She has this program obviously headed in a great direction.
Well, similar to the sentiments of Coach Weekly, Jamie Traxel just talked about how special that group was. It was special people who ascended to the peak at the right time. You talk to her right now, she's not necessarily really concerned about the fact they haven't won in the SEC. She understands the gauntlet they're going through, and she said even last year we just started to get better and better, and that's what I've challenged them to do, and we hit peak at the right time to be able to make it to Oklahoma City.
Ilana Applin, that one handled by Marjetko. One away. Ole Miss is an interesting case study. They're 0-9 in SEC play, but currently 24th in the RPI.
Well, their SEC schedule alone, you had number 4 Alabama, number 2 Texas, number 4 OU, now number 4 Tennessee. Farther down is A&M and LSU, who are both in the top 25. So the scheduling is hard in conference for them. They ironically did not have a Power 4 or top 25 ranked opponent in the preseason.
You look at the schedule, toughest strength of schedule in the nation. Top 5 Alabama, top 5 Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee. As you said, they got A&M and LSU coming up. Not much of a break the rest of the way. In there for strike one to Ryan Starr. Starr's been a terrific defensive addition since arriving from Syracuse a couple of years ago. Talk about defense. Cassie Reisner was making some nice defensive plays in that last inning.
Yeah, Starr usually starts at third base. Occasionally you'll see them sub out for a different offensive player if need be, but yeah, to her left. I thought both those balls off the bat of the Lady Vols were going up the middle, and Reisner was able to glove both of them, so nice range by the shortstop.
Swing and a miss. And there's another strikeout by Marjetko, her 4th.
Well, Marjetko, after setting her up, uses this drop ball on the outside, and you can see Starr way in front and way over that one. Ole Miss going to now have to start make the adjustment to that drop ball outside. Be able to stay down and through that off the arm of Marjetko.
She's struck out for the first 8 batters she's faced. This one poked to left field off the bat of Malvin, and a 1-2-3 inning recorded by Marjetko and the Lady Vols here in Knoxville. Tennessee coming up to bat in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They got off to the best start in program history this year at 26-0. Defeated 12 ranked teams, #1 in the nation in ERA and shutouts, #6 defensively in fielding percentage. Karen Weekly did tell us, after that record-setting start, that it got to the players a little bit, the pressure from that success. They started tightening up a little bit in games, thinking about things. She kind of recognized it a couple of weekends ago against Mississippi State. It really hit them last weekend, obviously, against Florida. But she told them, listen, keep being aggressive. And she mentioned in 25 years of doing this, she's never had the same team on May 1st that she had in the middle of March. So she reminded them they'll be just fine come the postseason.
Well, yeah, postseason's not a question for Tennessee, right? And so you hit a little bumps, or even, and I've been part of winning streaks. It gets to the point where you're like, you don't want to lose it. So you start to play thinking about not losing it, as opposed to just going and continuing to play the game the way it's always been played. But Coach Weekly talking about how she could just see them overthinking, which led to the not swinging and not being aggressive and not being the offense that she knows they can be, and they were early in season. Sometimes you just press a little too much, try a little bit too hard.
Emma Clark watches that one missed, count even up at 2. Remember, a good chunk of this offense is facing SEC pitching for the first time. They lost their top 5 run producers from a year ago. Clark up the middle between the legs, backhanded by Pickens. The stretch at first by Yamas, pulled off the bag. Clark is safe to start off the bottom of the second. A lot going on there.
Well, off the bat, I thought that was up the middle easily.
Traxel getting an explanation. Tonight's umpiring crew, Brett Higgins, Michael Bartling, and Robert Pentikoff.
I think Jamie Traxel is asking to see, do they all confer that Yamas was off the bag? If the home plate umpire had it too, then she's not going to waste a challenge. If they were conflicting, she'd probably ask to challenge.
Let's see. Was pulled off the bag.
She was pulled off the bag. My question is, oh, she beats it anyway, so even if she I think Traxel was making sure all the umpires were on the same page, and if they weren't, then she was going to ask for a review.
So Clark is over at first. Here is Mackenzie Butt, big-time power hitter. But the sophomore transfer from Boise State is the Mountain West Freshman of the Year a season ago when she launched 22 homers and drove in 77 runs. This year, 7 home runs, swing and a miss for strike one.
She was one of the players that Coach Karen Weekly said they need them to start stepping up, be able to move runners, drive runners in when you have the opportunity. I liked what she said, though, and it was in reference to both Butt and Sophia Knight, that there was this narrative created of what you have to do to be successful in the SEC, and she was trying to remind them what you've done is what got you here. And yes, we need you to keep progressing, but you don't have to change what you did. So continue to be the aggressive hitter you've always been. Attack pitches you know you can hit. Don't be passive.
Count evened up at 2 to Mackenzie Butt. Yeah, on one hand, it's the first time they faced SEC pitching all season long. On the other hand, you don't want to make it bigger than it is, and they're trying to find that fine line at this point in the season. Swing and a miss, and there is a strikeout for Emily Boyer, her first of the night.
Well, Emily Boyer just exploited the outside corner, drop ball after drop ball. That one a nice down tick under the bat of Butt. Solid pitch for Boyer.
One away for Alana Leach. Junior delivered a pinch hit walk-off homer Tuesday night in this ballpark against Tennessee Tech. One of her 5 home runs on the season. This one cranked to left center, and that one hauled in. It just died down in the glove of the left fielder, Applin. As Clark dove back into first, the crowd got out of their seats. They were looking for something.
It was loud enough. I thought that was going towards the wall too. That hung up a little bit more shallow than I expected.
Well, she hit it right into the wind. The wind is blowing completely out to right field. Otherwise, who knows?
Yeah, she did drive that one into the crosswind, and I thought off the bat that we were looking at either out of the park or off the wall. But heads up by Applin to see how far Clark was to try to double her up at first base. It would have been a big double play for Ole Miss.
Well, there's the announcer jinx. The wind didn't look bad there, but I promise it was gusting out to right field.
The flags are going.
2 away.
The flags are dancing.
Elsa Morrison, there you go. See, wasn't lying. 0-1 coming up to Morrison, the freshman catcher. Reisner been busy over at short so far, gets the job done. So Tennessee strands the leadoff hitter Clark. Still 1-0 Ole Miss after 2.
This game is tied.
She hit that into the street.
Tegan Gavon, she has fanned a dozen. A 2-homer inning for Kendall Wells.
Plenty of great action across the ESPN family of networks this weekend. Texas A&M. Kat, I know you've been paying attention to that one. Florida, Arkansas, OU-LSU. Longhorns and Aggies, a couple of games on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday on ESPN2. And Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. A gusty evening. Cold front coming in. It was in the 70s earlier today in Knoxville. Later tonight, it will be in the 30s. When we get out of here, Kat.
Yeah, the rain was supposed to come, and thankfully we only saw a little bit of drizzle, but totally tell that temperatures are not spring-like.
See, the ponchos are out, the hoodies. I'll tell you who took advantage of that wind in the first inning, Kennedy Bunker. She sent one over the fence in right field to get the evening started, a solo blast, and that's been the difference so far. It's an all Mountain West performer in Fresno State. He's off that one, 0-2 from Marjetko.
Well, if you're Ole Miss, you're extremely happy with the fact that third inning, you're already second time through the lineup. Getting a second look at Marjetko. They can string something together, possibly try to get to a bullpen.
Count was 0-2, now 2-2.
Well, Bunker worked the count full last at bat before the home run. But Marjetko, because of the power she displayed, now trying to show a lot more off speed at Bunker.
And we'll do it again. Ole Miss with a couple of hits off Marjetko. Fourth D1 hits allowed per 7 innings, only 3 per 7 innings. Gave up 2 in the first, settled down for a 1-2-3 second inning, a 9-pitch second inning. That one smoked over to third, handled by Rutan. So 2 of the first 4 Ole Miss batters got hits. Since then, 0 hits against the junior Marjetko.
Well, Marjetko started showing a little bit better control, but also using that off-speed pitch, especially in hitters' counts. That's still a rather loud ground out by Bunker. But again, she altered her timing by being able to throw that off-speed pitch.
Big swing and a miss from Mackenzie Pickens, sophomore out of Georgia. Second on the team in home runs. When you talk about Sage Marjetko, Karen Weekly said she really went through a transformation this offseason, a major change in her mindset. In the past, coaching staff said she used to put too much pressure on herself, was a perfectionist to a fault, would beat herself up over minor issues. But this year, she went into the season saying, you know what, I'm going to let loose, I'm going to have fun, surrender to the moment. And it's been a completely different picture for the most part this season, and the numbers back that up.
Well, they do, and I think some of that we mentioned, she was playing with a torn hip labrum. One, that's painful, but two, as you battle through that, you're not the pitcher that you used to be or that you once were, and you start to overthink, and obviously getting that fixed, being able to come out, throw pain-free, and at the same time with, like you said, the mentality of, hey, I'm just gonna go enjoy it. Because again, athletes talk about all the time, they try not to take for granted that any day could technically be your last, and you wanna enjoy it. But when you've struggled through it a little bit, it's so relieving almost when you can just play with pure joy and not a lot of pressure.
And fooled Mackenzie Pickens badly for out number 2. Fifth strikeout of the night, 6 in a row retired by Marjetko.
Well, and 3 of those 6 have been by strikeouts. That changeup now working for Marjetko.
That's a fair ball as it gets past Rutan. And Yamas with the 2-out single.
Yamas jumps on this first pitch. That goes right over the bag. For Tennessee, nothing lost, just a 2-out single. Key for Ole Miss is going to have to be to try to predict what counts. Is Margeco going to attack them with that changeup? Because that changeup is there to alter their timing. We saw it against Bunker. She threw it for a ball, but then Bunker wasn't on time for the outside pitch. But Ole Miss is going to have to start figuring out which counts is she throwing that in more often.
George singled off of her in the first inning, sends one to deep right field, and it is just foul. Freshman gave that one a ride.
Well, that's two lefties now that have been ready to jump on the inside pitch and pull them hard. Bunker kept it fair for the home run. Maddie George just missed, I don't want to say by a few feet, probably about 8 or 9 feet, but did put a charge into it.
I thought I was too dramatic. It's that close. 1-2 now to George. You talk about how crucial George is to this team's success. Ole Miss is 14-3 on the year when she drives in a run. One-two on the way. Swing and a miss. And an inning-ending strikeout by Sage Margeco.
Well, Sage Margeco set her up. She threw a drop for a strike, and then she stayed in the same location, just brought it down a little bit as Maddie George chases that one. Margeco trying to give the ball some energy as they go into the third.
We hit the bottom of the third inning at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium in Knoxville. The 8-9-1 hitters coming up for Tennessee. Alex Loeb and Kat Osterman here with you. Kat, Tennessee told us before the series they wanted their offense to be more aggressive, especially early in the counts. What have you seen so far from their offense?
They're being aggressive early in the game. I don't know that they've been aggressive early in the count as much as Karen would like to see, but they are getting their swing off. And when you're going the third inning right now, as they start to get the second time through lineup, that means timing has happened. When you don't swing at all and you take a lot, now you're taking defensive swings. And because even in mid-counts, they're taking swings, they're getting good timing in their at-bats.
A single and a walk so far for this Tennessee offense is Maddie Rutan leading off the third. Junior transfer from Eastern Kentucky, homered on Tuesday night. Karen Weekly told us we knew she was going to be a good hitter for us. We knew she was going to be a good pitcher, but we had no idea how good she would be defensively over at third, where she's been terrific. Just 2 errors there all season.
Anytime you get an added bonus out of a transfer player as a coach, you're extremely happy. And knowing you were getting 2 out of 3 is nice enough, but then to be able to plug that hole at third base with Maddie Rutan has been everything Coach Karen Weekly needed.
Fouls one off, the count even at 2. Tennessee getting out hit 3-1. So far by Ole Miss, game number 1 of this 3-game set. Vols offense looking to get going as the team has dropped 3 of their last 5 SEC games. In those losses, they've only allowed 3 runs per game. But again, trying to get the backs going. And there is a free pass earned by Rutan. Second straight inning the leadoff hitter has reached for Karen Weekly.
Well, Rutan, works the count there. That changeup by Boyer just misses low. If that's in the zone, you saw Rutan kind of down in her legs. If anything, a check swing ground ball was going to be put in play. So Emily Boyer missing just by a little bit.
Junior shortstop Bella Fall at the plate. Boyer in the circle. So you're going to look at Fall. For Boyer, mentioned she was a senior transfer. She came over from West Texas A&M where she went 69-10 at the D2 level, earning Division II Player of the Year honors. Brought in a few D2 players that have helped this squad.
When you talk about the inexperience of the Ole Miss lineup, a lot of that in the circle, but Coach Jamie Trax will tell you all of their transfers, they were not Power 4 and they were not, some of them were not D1. So the adjustment to SEC play, they need it to happen quickly, but she understands it's a process. So she's also letting them kind of lean into that process and not hitting the panic button yet.
Team will have a chat in the circle with Boyer, who threw a number of good pitches, looked pretty good against Oklahoma. The problem was the few mistakes she made, they hit out of the park, which they do to most opposing pitchers.
Well, and I think that's the biggest difference. One, when you play OU or a Texas or a top 3 offense, but just the SEC, is your mistakes get punished. They don't just get hit. Where in the past, I'm sure she got away with some that just got hit.
Nice play over at third by Starr, but advancing to third is Rutan. Shrewd base running by the junior transfer.
A very heads-up base running there by Maddie Rutan. It's a high hopper. Starr goes and gets it, gets around it, but Rutan never missed a beat. And I think part of that is because of how far Starr had to go over. Reesner didn't drop back in and cover third, so there was absolutely nobody covering third base.
So the tying run over at third, 1 away, back up to the top of the order, and Sophia Knight, who takes ball 1. Knight was one of the best hitters in the nation a year ago when she led the NCAA in hits. Not only that, she became the first player in 23 years to rack up 100 hits in the regular season alone. Big time addition in the portal. Chops one over to second. Rutan coming home, and she is out at the plate. The tag made by Bunker.
Such a great heads-up play by Pickens at second. And Tennessee has to go for this. Early in the game, you want to force them to play catch. Even though Pickens in, that not a hard hit ball. Rutan tries to do the little arm sweep over the tag, but Bunker staying down through there, getting the chest before the hand gets to the bag. So far, I've been very impressed with Ole Miss's defense.
Reesner and Bunker making plays, and Bunker having herself a night. Hit the home run, that's been the difference, and saving a run at the plate. So here is Ella Dodge, runner on first, 2 away. And the count 2-0 to the sophomore. Karen Weekly called the most consistent and clutch hitter on this year's squad. Fouls one back. Talk to Coach Weekly in the next inning, get her thoughts on this team. Aggressive base running by Rutan. Unfortunately, they couldn't even up the game.
And you want to put the pressure on the defense to have to play catch. And while that was a hopper that Pickens had to come in, she had to pick and make the throw.
Runner is going, and there will be no throw. So another runner in scoring position as Knight takes second, her 13th stolen base of the year. Top 5 in the SEC in that category.
And as we mentioned, the earlier in the game you are, the more aggressive you can be. You don't have to be conservative to try to make sure runs get driven in. You can try to push the envelope a little bit.
So a hitter's count for Dodge with Knight now at second. Dodge walked in the first inning. And earns another one here in the third. 2 aboard with 2 away.
Whether it's by design or just happenstance, Boyer has been avoiding the strike zone against Ella Dodge. It's her second walk tonight. The first inning, nothing was really close, which I thought was unusual in the fact that no one was on base. So it's first inning, go right at her, set the tone. With a runner in scoring position, I understand a little bit, but still, you have to have some challenge pitches that keep a hitter honest.
A hitter up now is Gabby Leach, who had a monster series in this ballpark a few weeks ago against LSU. And before she sees another pitch, Ole Miss will talk things over. Leach, meanwhile, against the Tigers earlier this month, hit 600 with 3 home runs, including the walk-off home run to sweep the series.
Well, there are definitely some big, bright spots for Tennessee's offense. We talk about the power, but again, in the SEC, you can't be power or bust. It can't just be home runs. You have to find ways to do the little things. I was not shocked when Maddie Rutan got on that Karen Weekly did try to have Bella foul bunt. I was not surprised when Emma Clark got on because Mackenzie Butt is known more for her power, but trying to get her over into a position where then your top of your lineup can drive her in.
So we're ready to go. 2 on, 2 away. Boyer has issued 2 walks in this inning, and she's behind Gabby Leach, 1-0.
Tennessee making Emily Boyer throw a lot more pitches in this inning. Just 24 pitches total coming in. This is her 19th of the inning.
Misses again to Leach.
And this is where you have to trust your spin and trust your stuff. She's been throwing a really good drop ball in the outer half. Her defense has her back. Trust your spin, throw that over the corner, and let it play out.
And she is now 1 ball away from loading the bases. Leach has driven in 26 runs on the season. And there is strike 1 from Boyer.
Give her Gabby Leach. She wishes she threw that pitch when it was 1-0, 2-0.
Oh, a delayed called strike 2. We got a full count coming up. Leach thought she was headed over to first.
I'm not gonna lie, I was starting to write base on balls in my book. I thought that one drifted a little bit outside.
Got to give Brett Higgins some time to make the call. Payoff pitch. We'll do it again.
Well, that pitch did have a little bit of a late drift to the outer part of the plate.
Leach this year, 324 hitter with runners in scoring position. 328 with runners on. Fouls another one back.
She was coming at you with that one.
Close call. For the junior right fielder, 6 home runs on the season. Awaits the 3-2. And the bases will be loaded for Tennessee. 3rd walk of the inning issued by Boyer. Here comes Emma Clark in the cleanup spot. Sophomore first baseman, a lot of power. Given in 19 runs on the year.
And Clark had the first hit of the ball game for Tennessee. She drove a drop ball up the middle.
That's been the only hit of the game so far for the Lady Vols. There's a swing and a miss from Clark. Interesting, coming off back-to-back walks, you swing at the first pitch.
Well, yeah, very interesting. Probably assuming that because bases are loaded, she has to throw over the plate, or that's the mindset, so being aggressive. Boyer executes a changeup on that first pitch, tries to go back-to-back. That one misses a little bit high. Nancy Evans does a great job calling pitches, a great pitcher in her own right, but continuing to mix speeds for Boyer.
And Boyer falls behind again. Knight at third, Dodge at second, Leach at first. 2 away. And we're evened up at 2.
Got another off-speed pitch, but you can tell Boyer trying to make sure it's a strike. So placing it that up in the zone, changeups hurt you so much more up in the zone than they do down in the zone.
And time is called.
Well, these are the moments when you hear coaches talk about the moment never gets too big. If you're a pitcher in this moment, it's not too big because you're keeping your mindset simple. I have to execute a pitch.
Clark sends one down the line, just foul. Everybody will head back to their bases. That one was slicing.
Well, if I hadn't witnessed it with my own eyes, I would have thought that there's no way, because this looks like it was going to stay. I actually thought it was going to hit probably where the 200 was, but it does tail foul. That one just by a couple feet down there, right close to the fence. You see Maddie George celebrating the foul ball.
Even Clark had to laugh at that a moment ago, couldn't believe it. She'll get another opportunity. Steps into the box, 2-2 count. Tennessee down by 1. And again, Boyer will call time. Big spot in this ball game, even though we're only in the 3rd.
Well, I don't know if one, the moment is getting to Boyer. 2, you saw her look at the pitch call and then call time, so not sure if maybe there was confusion on where the location needed to be or what Coach Evans wants her to do with the pitch.
If there was ever a time to be on the same page, it's right now.
It is, and I'll be honest, I would assume a changeup is coming.
Count remains 2-2.
She went back hard out even after the loud foul ball. Interesting piece to me is we haven't seen Boyer go inside much to these right-handed hitters of Tennessee, and she throws hard enough that you can jam them.
See what she offers up on pitch number 56 on the night. Wanted it, didn't get it. 3-2 with the bases loaded.
Well, there's an inside pitch. She tried to freeze her with a screwball. This one just comes in a little bit high. That's above the belt, even though Bunker tries to do a good job of catching on top of that.
And walks in a run. We are tied at 1 in Knoxville. 4th walk of the inning, 3rd straight.
Well, this pitch, a changeup, but again, just misses low and outside. Trying to get Clark to chase that one. Have to be able to throw over the corner when you're in full counts. You can't go for the chase in big situations like that. For Ole Miss right now, it's really the free passes that are hurting Boyer because the defense is doing their job. Feed the defense.
Well, it's ironic that Karen Weekly had been preaching aggressiveness, but it's their patience that has paid off here in the 3rd inning.
Well, I think she's probably excited because they're not being aggressive on pitches out of the zone. They're at least being aggressive on pitches in the zone and then working their walks.
Base is still loaded and a dangerous hitter in Mackenzie, but she takes ball 1. Remember, Tennessee only has 1 hit on the night, a single in the 2nd, but they've been the beneficiary of 5 walks so far. Bud has hit 29 home runs over the last season and a half. That's a pinch hitter due up in place of Taylon Holly. Karen Weekly said has big-time potential, top 10 recruit coming out of California, #2 outfield prospect in the nation, 278 hitter this year. And now Boyer ahead, 1-2.
But with the strikeout in the second inning, so Karen Weekly giving Holly an opportunity, but also I feel like the lefties are seeing Boyer a little bit better.
Holly came up huge at the plate against LSU, smashed 2 homers, including 1 off the scoreboard in the sweep of the Tigers. Base is full of Lady Vols. 1-2 with 2 away. It has been a long inning for Emily Boyer in the circle.
As I said, the lefties seeing her better. You saw Sophia Knight work deep in the count. Ella Dodge and Gabby Leach both earning walks because that drop ball has been drifting away from the plate.
Swing and a miss, and Boyer comes up with the strikeout to end the inning. So a little bit of good and bad. Tennessee ties the game. We're all knotted up at 1 after 3. You're watching SEC softball presented by Regions Bank. Now tied in Knoxville as we enter the 4th inning, joined by Tennessee head coach Karen Weekly. Coach, I know you were talking to us this week about wanting to see your offense be more aggressive, but how about the patience they showed in that last inning?
Yeah, you know, you have to do that too. I mean, when they're not throwing you strikes, you got to make sure you're staying in the zone. But I think when we have a good aggressive mindset, we tend to make better decisions, and I think that's what we saw that inning.
Coach, obviously the big first knock off of Sage Marjecko, but then she settled in for the most part. What have you seen from her in the circle tonight?
You know, that does nothing more than motivate her. I mean, Sage is one who's just an ultra competitor. So as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, first inning, and you know that's going to get Sage fired up. And nobody wants to win more than her, and I think she's settled in well, and she's got such a good mix of pitches that, you know, if we feel like they're on something, Sage has a lot of things to go to.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Sage Marjecko back out in the circle. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 run allowed through 3. As the junior has settled down, had that 25-pitch first inning, allowed the leadoff home run to Kennedy Bunker, but since then has looked awfully good in the circle, Cat.
Well, yeah, you see there, that's settling in when your pitch count gets significantly less as the game goes on. I love what she said, though. If anything, it fired her up, and I won't deny, as a pitcher, you give up a big hit and you feel sorry for the next couple people. In fact, I think my mom used to say that when I was growing up. She felt sorry for whoever was after the person who got a hit.
I could absolutely agree with that statement as Cassie Reisner pops up to begin the 4th inning. As Marjecko records another out. You look at this Tennessee pitching staff. Karen Weekly said we really have 3 aces: Margetko, Carlin Pickens, Aaron Newer, all of them extremely competitive, but all of them also conversely okay with sharing the spotlight. I mean, Carlin Pickens went through a 2-week stretch earlier this year where she didn't start. She was coming out of the bullpen, as you see her right there, warming up. And all of them able to share that spotlight, put their egos aside and know, hey, whoever coach is putting in there, it's for good reason and they're okay with it.
Well, they understand, and this game is evolving to a more staff mentality. So if you're able to recruit pitchers to come in and or get them out of the portal and they buy into being a piece of the big staff, it's such a compliment. And the fact that they're all different. Margetko, we've seen a mix of a lot of changeups today. Obviously, we've talked about the speed of Pickens and heavy drop ball. Newer, she has a vertical separation too, a lot of rise balls. So when you have 3 that complement each other, and yes, can commit to being each other's best friends, essentially.
Margetko in his zone right now, strikeout number 7. Look at this pitching staff. I mean, it's hard to believe right now Carlin Pickens only has the 3rd best ERA on the team.
Yeah, you see there the most innings, but 3rd best ERA. You saw Newer with 12 wins. You mentioned there was a 2-week stretch where Carlin probably didn't start, even though they thought she might go into certain games and they were trying to get her into the relief role a little more. Then there was the injury and she was out with that for a while, and Newer and Margetko able to help Tennessee not miss a beat as she was able to get her shoulder healthy again. And even right now into the 4th, Margetko pretty much dealing.
I asked Coach Weekly, who do you think you're going to start? Who are you leaning towards? Friday, a big swing and a miss from Leilani Appwood. She said, yeah, she wasn't being coy. She's like, I'm really not sure. I like to keep the opposing offenses off guard, and that's, you know, we've witnessed that over the years. Likes to keep things unpredictable for the opposing teams.
The other point she made, which I really liked, is when you have 3 arms like this, they're not seeing an arm twice in a weekend for a whole game.
Yeah.
Where in years past, Carlin would have to throw on Friday and Sunday, maybe even relief Saturday. But now with 3 arms that can take the load, they can each one can throw a complete game. Or, you know what, 7, 8, 9 might see Carlin to close out a game, but they won't see her 6, 8, 9 at bats.
Margetko is dealing strikeout number 8 on the night.
Well, Sage Margetko keeps setting them up well, and this drop ball outside retires the side, but we will talk to Jamie Traxel and see what her team needs to do when we get back.
Welcome back to Knoxville, tied at 1. We're now joined by Ole Miss head coach Jamie Traxel. Coach, your team jumped out to the early lead in the series opener. What do you make of the way they've competed so far this evening?
Yeah, I think we've had a really good week, and so we've kind of picked up where we've kind of been the last few games, and certainly in this week. And we have a lot of belief and confidence in what we can do. We think every game is going to be a battle, and I like where we're at right now.
Coach, you're sticking with Emily Boyer in the circle even though she has 5 walks on the night. Can you talk about the conversation in between innings there after Tennessee was able to tie it?
Yeah, she just got to keep attacking the zone. She's throwing good pitches. We're getting good outs, and so she just got to trust that and not be so fine with everything and let our defense make some plays. But I think she's throwing well, small misses, but she's got to get back on the plate and let our defense make some plays and keep working ahead.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Hotty toddy.
You know, Ole Miss playing another top 5 team close. Their 0-9 SEC record is a bit deceiving, Kat. They lost to Texas by just 2, a couple of losses to Alabama by 1 run, another by 2 runs, lost to OU by 3, but led the Sooners entering the 6th inning. I mean, they have had a lot of close calls.
They've been in a lot of games, and that's where she wants to see the fight continue, but at the same time, the process pay off. As they continue to be in these close games and you fight for it, at what point does the sense of urgency win over to where now you're winning those ball games? But I did like her point with Boyer. Feed the defense. The defense is working behind her, and that's what she needs to do. Right now, if I'm her, I'm throwing that drop ball on the corners. Let those middle infielders continue to show off the way they did in the first 2 innings.
Ole Miss hasn't won here since 2008. In that last inning, Boyer threw 39 pitches.
Well, the unfortunate part, if you're an Ole Miss fan, is the fact that you had 2 outs and a runner on first. So it looked like, hey, this inning is pretty much in control. But then this 3 straight walks set up the RBI situation for Tennessee. And as a pitcher, you have to trust your spin, not try to be too fine. As she mentioned, place it. You're going right at the catcher's glove with good spin.
Alana Leach cranks one to deep left center, hauled in on the track, and again, another Lady Vol hits it right up against the wind, and it's a long out.
Well, that's 2 barrels for Alana Leach that have just stayed in this ball game. See there on the warning track, but Malvin able to haul that one in easily.
You could see that reaction on the face of Karen Weekly saying, are you kidding me? It remains tied. Elsa Morrison, she takes strike 1.
Morrison, an athlete that Coach Karen Weekly was really excited about. She has shouldered the load behind the plate in SEC play. Midweeks gets to be the DP, doesn't have to be the backstop, but said she loved the way Elsa Morrison is handling the season. There's been ups and downs, but the ups and downs are not because of big moments. She said moments don't phase the freshman. Packed house, Florida, home run, no big deal. Elsa Morrison just handles it like a champ, but starting to learn the mental endurance it takes to compete at this Division 1 level day in and day out.
She was the number 2 ranked catcher in the nation coming out of high school right here in Knoxville. Went to Farragut High, about 20 minutes away. Grew up in Indiana, but her family moved to Knoxville for her dad's job about 4 years ago. And by the looks of it, it didn't take her long to adjust. The very next year after they moved here, she was named Tennessee High School Gatorade Player of the Year.
Yeah, an absolute tremendous athlete. She has tremendous power as well.
That one snared by Starr. This defense by the Rebels has been fantastic so far tonight.
Well, this infield has just been incredible behind Emily Boyer. That ball in the 5-6 hole. Starr, the diving stop, the throw from the ground. And that's why she's in there. Shall I say a defensive star?
Wait for it. Usually I'm the one with the dad jokes, if you will. I'm rubbing off on you. It's good to know. 2 away from Maddie Rutan, who walked in the 3rd inning and then was thrown out at home later in the inning. Hence the dirt on the jersey. The junior transfer. 3 home runs on the season. Again, Tennessee with just one hit so far tonight against Boyer. Chops the 2-0. Rutan, really inspirational student athlete, has gone public with the reading disorder she struggled with growing up. She was blossoming into a star softball player in high school. Noticed her work in the classroom was falling behind. Wasn't at the same reading level or pace as her classmates. So she told herself, listen, you have two options. Either sulk about it and fall behind, or work twice as hard as everybody else. She chose the latter, and that work ethic paid off. Turned her grades around senior year and is now more than comfortable talking about her struggles in public and hoping to be an inspiration for others.
They say how you do anything is how you do everything, and you can obviously tell by her play on the softball field she goes all in, so not shocking to hear how she approached that situation.
That one off the bag.
That one I think was off the orange bag, so it is ruled foul ball. Rutan's going to come back to the plate. I thought from our upward angle here in the booth that, yeah, that hits off the orange bag, so that's definitely foul. It has to hit off the white bag to be a fair ball. Brett Higgins on top of that one.
And a few close calls for Tennessee hitters tonight. That orange bag, double base, mandatory across the nation this year.
Such a good adaptation for our sport.
And now Rutan will reach base for the second time tonight, earning her second walk.
I think if you're Rutan, she'd rather reach on
Rather beat second.
the hit, but hey, she'll take her on base. But it's, again, 2 quick outs from Emily Boyer, and then she starts to be too fine. Talked to a coach recently, and there used to be so much emphasis for pitchers to get the first out of the inning, and there still is because you don't want the momentum to start. But asked, what do you think the hardest out to get is? And I kind of looked like, what are you talking about? The third out. They said it's harder for pitchers to go 1, 2, 3 these days than it used to be. That third out tends to be extremely difficult for them to get, especially in succession. So quick innings starting to be a little bit of the thing of the past.
Boyer trying to record the third out, but falling behind 2-0. She has walked 6 so far. And now a 3-0 count. Careful here, because after this, it's back up to the top of the order if you put Fall on. There is a strike from the senior transfer.
Emily Boyer has not had an inning yet that hasn't had traffic. First inning, she did only face the minimum, but she walked Ella Dodge before a double play. So Tennessee getting a lot of looks at her as she continues to put people on base.
Works the count full now against the junior Fall. Rutan at first, 2 away. Up the middle. Once again, Reisner is there, makes it look easy. Tennessee strands a runner, still tied at 1 after 4.
Well, despite Ole Miss coming out and scoring first, Sage Marjecko has settled in. The righty has baffled Ole Miss, a series of changeups, drop balls, but been in command since that first hitter blemish. Continues to set the tone for the Lady Vols.
Has allowed just a single over the last 3 innings after giving up a home run, a single, and a walk in the first inning. And 8 strikeouts so far. A couple of 1, 2, 3 frames to boot, facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters as we now hit the 5th inning at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. Ryan Starr leading things off. She was a strikeout victim in the second. Pinch hitter Hope Jenkins up at the plate. Senior of Folsom, California. Former UConn product. Chops one over to third. Rutan on to first. Well, later on tonight, number 8 Oklahoma baseball and number 2 Texas continue their big 3-game series on the SEC network. Texas won handily yesterday, 14-0. Game 2 coverage, Texas and Oklahoma baseball coming up next. Tomorrow's series finale begins at 5 Eastern. I know you have no rooting interest in that one, Kat.
Not at all. Not at all.
Couldn't care less.
It's an interesting weekend for Texas fans, though. You have OU in baseball, A&M in softball. Just a rivalry over there.
Regular old weekend is the count now 0-2 to Taylor Malvin. She came in it tonight having a career year at the plate, now hitting .320. But waves at that one. And a strikeout.
First at bat of this ball game, Kennedy Bunker works a full count, sees one she likes. She drives this one dead right field to put Ole Miss up. Tennessee has since tied it, but Bunker, 2 quality at bats against Marjecko, seeing her here for the 3rd time.
That one under the glove of Marjecko, but Dodge makes the play. 3rd 1-2-3 inning of the night for the Lady Vols. Still tied. Both of these defenses have been top-notch tonight. Ole Miss, the infield, Reisner at short, right from the first inning of the night, getting the job done. Over at second, Pickens going home, Bunker with the tag. Rebels defense really playing a big part so far tonight.
Well, if Emily Boyer can trust that defense, attack the zone, let them continue to play. Ole Miss, you see there, 14-3 when they don't make an error. On the flip side, 7-11 when they do make 1 or more. But right now, I'd throw drop balls all day and let that defense continue to work.
Sophia Knight cranks one to left field. A leadoff single for the transfer from Boise State. She's got plenty of speed too over at first. Has already stolen a base tonight. fourth most in the SEC this year. Here comes Ella Dodge, who has reached twice. This is the third time through the order for Tennessee against Boyer. Swinging at first pitches through the first two at-bats this time through.
Well, Tennessee has seen Boyer plenty to know what area of the zone is she attacking. So for Sophia Knight, she's been working the drop ball away to left-handed hitters, but Sophia Knight saw it up and she was able to drive that to left field. Ella Dodge, similar, that pitch in the same part of the zone.
Dodge, one of just 2 batters last year in the entire nation to hit multiple home runs off National Player of the Year Jordy Fromm, formerly Ball. The other, Madison Walker. Now with Florida, formerly of Mizzou, as Boyer calls time.
Trivia time with Alex.
Yeah, why not? You know, gotta throw it in there.
I'll take things I don't know for 800, Alex.
Random facts in at this point in the game as, listen, Dodge walked in the first inning against Boyer, walked in the third inning, and now she's ahead 2-1 here in the 5th.
The point Karen Weekly made in her interview about when they're being aggressive, they start to make better decisions. That's what's holding key.
Dodge to center field. Malvin is there. First out of the inning.
Oh, that one was definitely held up in the wind because you saw Malvin waving off her other outfielders, and she was, I want to say, 2/3 of the way into the outfield and then had to come crashing in to grab that one.
This cold front arriving right now is in the 70s earlier today. You can see Karen Weekly shaking off the 12-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Here's Gabby Leach. Boyer pitched the sure out at first, 2 away, as Knight advances to second.
That's, to enhance your point, 3 at-bats, 3 first pitch strikes with Gabby Leach swinging at that one too. And I think, again, it's the fact she threw drop balls outside to all 3 hitters. The one to Sophia Knight was elevated, so she was able to get a single on that. But Tennessee's starting to hunt certain parts of the zone.
Here is Emma Clark, who walked with the bases loaded to tie the game. Takes ball 1. She came up with Tennessee's first hit of the night in the second inning, a leadoff single. Bunker keeps that one in front of her and prevents Knight from advancing.
When you talk to Karen Weekly about Emma Clark, she said, she has so much power, but I need her to unleash the beast. So just play freely, quit trying to make sure you hit the ball and swing hard.
Unable to do so there, Reisner with the out at first. And Tennessee strands another runner as we head to the 6th.
Hey, sports fans, the ESPN app has all of ESPN all in one place. Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Got a pitcher's duel going in the series opener between number 4 Tennessee and Ole Miss. On the night, just 5 hits combined allowed between Sage Margetko and Emily Boyer. The strikeout numbers from Margetko really stand out. 9 strikeouts so far, 3 shy of her career high.
Well, it's the strikeouts and it's the walks on the flip side. Emily Boyer with 6 of those. One of those was the run, brought the 1 run in for Tennessee. Tennessee hasn't earned their way on and earned the run in as far as hits go. But we did see a better inning from Boyer in the bottom of the 5th.
She has to be feeling pretty good. 6 walks, has gotten into trouble, but has made the right pitch at the right time, and her defense has come up really big behind her.
She throws a lot of drop balls and has good drop ball spin, so she's getting the ground balls to her infield. Reisner at shortstop has been incredible. We saw Ryan Starr make an incredible play at third base as well. And even Pickens at second base almost had a good play on the first hit of the game by Emma Clark.
This is not a good sign. The ponchos and the blue wigs are out. A little bit of rain happening here at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. They had the tarp on the field about an hour before the game. But there wasn't much in the forecast to take place after the game started. So hopefully just a brief drizzle as this one fouled off by Mackenzie Pickens.
Yeah, it was raining hard enough at one point. We could, see it pretty easily up here in the booth.
When the ball does get a little slick, who has the advantage there? Is it the hitter?
Depending on what a pitcher throws, I would say yes, a hitter. Now, Margetko has been throwing a lot of changeups. That's in your palm. It's a little bit easier to control even with a slick ball.
Pitch number 75 on the night from Margetko. And again, fought off by Pickens, who struck out in the first and in the third. She was coming off a nice series a couple of weeks ago against number 1 Texas. At 333 with the homer and reached 4 times. Stays alive.
Pickens trying to do anything she can to stay alive. That last drop ball, not even in the zone. Just going down to get a piece of it.
Sophomore hitting .297 on the year. So the dugout looks on. And again, in a battle with Margetko.
Here's as an offense, you want to be aggressive, but right now you see Pickens chasing everything. You saw a ball that was almost in the dirt. That last rise ball was up at her eyes. At some point you have to show discipline.
And finally, Tennessee gets the best of Mackenzie Pickens as Rutan was there. Double-digit pitches in that at-bat.
As a pitcher, if you start swinging at everything, then I know at some point I'm going to be able to get you to chase probably a changeup or a drop ball in the dirt.
Don't forget Oklahoma and LSU with a big matchup tomorrow. Sage Margetko has now retired 8 in a row. Here is Percy Yamas, who's the last Ole Miss batter to reach, singled off of her back in the 3rd.
Yamas didn't like that changeup by Margetko. I think that was easily a strike, but maybe just not expecting or on time for it the way she wanted to be.
Yamas grew up in California, the close-knit family in Eastvale. All her relatives going to her games as she grew up to watch her play in person. Then she decided to go to Oxford, Mississippi, a little bit further away than Eastvale. As that one misses. And it was tough at times for her family to make it out to the games in Oxford, especially for her grandfather, who doesn't like to fly. He finally made an exception once Ole Miss made the regional last year, and in person he watched her hit 3 home runs in 3 games in that regional as they advance to the Supers and eventually beyond. Big part of this offense. They are 12-3 when she drives in a run. A dribbler. Rutan has to hurry. And that one pulled Clark off the bag. Yamas reaches for the second time tonight.
Yamas tops that pitch, but just far enough down the line that Rutan has to throw on the run, and she beats that one out. An infield single for Yamas. But Alex, I'm gonna go back to your story.
Yeah.
She's from California. Regionals were in Arizona. You didn't have to travel very far.
Are you going to make the grandfather look bad?
No, I was expecting you to say like a conference tournament.
Whoa, you just took the air out of my story. It's Debbie
But-
Downer. Never mind.
There were just so many times when I played with the national team that, you know, you say West Coast and all the Arizona kids are like, oh, we count ourselves over there too, because they play enough there.
On to my next story. I'll scratch that one off
No.
my list here. Yes, a little bit further than Eastvale. And she put on an inspired performance.
Well, that regional for Ole Miss and led by Percy was absolutely what turned everyone's heads to Ole Miss. They obviously were competitive in conference, and even the conference tournament put up a good fight against Texas.
Pinch runner taken over for Yamas at first. Izzy Rediger.
But the numbers they put up at that regional really made everyone go, oh, wait, what's happening there in Oxford?
That one misses to Maddie George, who singled in the first inning off Marjetko and then struck out in the third. And just like Percy Yamas last year as a freshman, it's Maddie George this year as a first-year player, tearing it up at the plate. Over to second. Dodge with the toss and throws it away. Ole Miss in business with runners on the corners and just one away.
Rediger runs right in front of Dodge, but there's no interference. Dodge just goes to toss and pulls that too far into the outfield. Heads up base running, though, to get up quickly and get herself to third base.
You know, here's what's interesting. When Karen Weekly talked about the team tightening up a little bit after all the success, thinking too much out there, this defense, number 6 in the nation in fielding percentage, but had 4 errors in the first 2 games against Florida, had one the other night against Tennessee Tech on Tuesday, and the rare defensive miscue there.
Well, and that's a routine play, and even if Dodge isn't sure that Fall is going to be there, one, you have to make sure you look where you're tossing, and I feel like she just tossed without looking. At the same time, you had all day to go to first base. Worst case, you have 2 outs and a runner at second. You have to be able to make sure that that toss is sharp. Here you see she just pulls that, and she's almost looking out into the outfield as she tosses that ball.
The speed of the pinch runner, Rediger, maybe caused her to glance over a bit too early. Rediger is over at third, representing the go-ahead run here in the 6th inning. Rosales pinch running at first. And there is strike 1 delivered to Cassie Reisner, who walked in the first inning and popped up in the 4th.
Remember, Reisner on a 7-game hit streak, and while the walk in the first inning will extend an 8-game on-base streak, she's been hitting 500 the last 7 games. Looking for her first hit here tonight, but with an RBI situation. This is who Ole Miss wants up.
Big-time clutch hitter. Hit .417 for Kentucky last year in the regional. A big moment for her in this game tonight. The 0-2 with 2 on. And that one gets past Morrison. Here comes Rediger, and Ole Miss has jumped back in front, 2-1. Mistakes costing Tennessee here in the 6th inning.
Well, this pitch just getting away from Marjetko. That hits in the batter's box by Reisner's feet.
swing and a miss. Reasoner chased it for out number 2.
Despite the wild pitch and run score, good response by Margeco using that rise ball. Haven't seen it a lot today, but able to get Reasoner chasing out of the zone.
Strike 1, delivered by Margeco. Taylor Roman at the plate. Alexa Rosales at second with now 2 away. Roman struck out twice entering this at bat, fouls that one back. This feisty Ole Miss team, as we said, even though they're winless in SEC play, they have played a number of top 5 teams extremely close, and tonight has been no exception. Fooled Roman, a strikeout to end the inning, but Ole Miss jumps in front 2-1. We move on to the bottom of the 6th inning here in Knoxville.
SEC Softball is presented by Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC.
The Rebels with a 2-1 lead in the 6th inning, and their head coach, Jamie Traxel, told us earlier this week, she said, we've got to stop beating ourselves. She's a huge NFL fan, big-time Bill Belichick fan, and she offered up a quote from him that said, you can't win until you keep from losing. They have not beaten themselves tonight, as there's the first out of the inning. Holly immediately retired. But, you know, you talk about that quote, don't beat yourselves. They haven't done that tonight. Conversely, Tennessee, up to this point, beating themselves at least in that top half of the 6th inning.
Yeah, the top half of the 6th needs to be shored up as far as the toss, the wild pitch. And on the defensive side, Emily Boyers flirted with possibly Ole Miss beating themselves just in the walks category, but the defense has had her back. But again, you're talking a lineup that only has 3 returning players. So it's the experience of being in these situations and then getting on the winning side. Here you see Holly hits as she takes off. That hits her. You see right there the change of direction of the ball off her foot. Karen Wheatley going to ask for it to get a second look, I believe, but you could see it come off her foot there.
Well, at this point in the game, these calls become crucial. Tennessee running out of time here in the series opener. It's the 5, 6, and 7 hitters starting things off for the Lady Vols. Here at the bottom of the 6th inning, Tennessee has mustered just 2 hits all night against Boyer. You mentioned the walk. She issued 6 of them. As She's only come back to hurt her once so far.
Well, and even the run scored wasn't off a hit. It was a walked-in run. So she has been able to keep the offense at bay as far as hard hits.
And the conversation continues between Brett Higgins, Michael Bartling, and Robert Pentikoff. Defensive change, meanwhile, for Ole Miss. Rosales, who entered as a pinch runner in place of George, takes over in right field.
Karen's pointing at the lineup. But Boyer's not in the hitting lineup, and Bunker wasn't pinch hit for.
Appears they are figuring things out over at first. Michael Bartling.
Holly stayed in the lineup, so that's who was hitting. But as she runs to first, that ball, right down her back. Tries to outrun it, gets her there, and then off the foot.
So one away for Alana Leach. A couple of hard hit flyouts that unfortunately for her have gone right up against this powerful wind tonight. And one sounded like it may leave the yard. So far 0 for 2 for the junior left fielder. Leach, who wears number 10, just like her older sisters Aubrey and Kelsey did here. Now Gabby, her twin sister, wore 10 growing up, but said, you know what, I want Alana to have the chance to wear it in college. So Alana wears 10, Gabby switched to 55 because 5 plus 5 is 10.
I didn't know about that, but long line of Leach sisters to play here in Tennessee.
A legacy.
Well, and the oldest sister, Aubrey's still around. She's their director of player development.
There's Aubrey.
She is there. She going to law school while she's here. She also plays professionally.
Alana over to second. The scoot made, the throw past first base, and Tennessee. Leach collided a little bit there with Yamis, and she's gimpy, hobbling over to the bag. It looked like she was hoping around first, but again, the collision took place.
Well, the throw takes Yamis into foul territory, and you see Leach trying to avoid her. I think it's there. She's trying to turn, but at the same time falling and twists a knee or an ankle. And I think Karen Weekly is saying that Leach didn't have a chance to go to second because of interference.
Do you agree with that?
Well, the first base umpire, I did not feel like he was looking to be able to call it because he was watching the throw. And yeah, she was definitely impeded. Now, the question is, does she automatically get second because of that? I don't believe so.
She's replaced over at first by Zoe Schuler, sophomore out of Robbinsville, North Carolina. And again, Karen Weekly having a few lengthy discussions with the umpiring crew this inning as Tennessee desperately searching for run number 2 down to their last 5 outs of the night. So Schuler remains at first, and here comes Elsa Morrison, talented freshman catcher, who's 0 for 2 on the night. Morrison, a .283 hitter in her first year with the Lady Vols. 24 runs driven in on the season.
Morrison 0 for 2 tonight. Has the 2 ground outs to the left side. Has to make the adjustment, figure out how to stay through Boyer's drop ball a little bit better to get a base hit.
And Boyer misses again. She's well up over 100 pitches now. 3 hits allowed, 1 earned, 6 walks, a couple of strikeouts, 51 strikes, 51 balls. And now strike number 52 makes it a 2-1 count.
And even though 2-0 a hitter's count, that's not a pitch that Elsa Morrison wants to attack. That one at the bottom part of the zone, borderline, but Boyer gets that one for a strike. Yeah, the 51-51 divide of the 102 pitches, not exactly what you want from a pitcher.
Pickens on to first, 2 away. As moving down to second is Schuler, representing the tying run. So here comes Maddie Rutan, who has reached twice, a couple of very patient at bats, 2 walks. A junior transfer from Eastern Kentucky with a runner in scoring position. And again, a first pitch ball from Boyer. Over to second, Pickens yet again makes the play, and this Ole Miss defense comes through when it matters most. They will take a 2-1 lead into the 7th. Ole Miss jumped in front in the opening moments of this ballgame. Kennedy Bunker with the leadoff home run to make it 1-0. Tennessee answered, the beneficiary of a bases-loaded walk in the 3rd, but then moments ago, Ole Miss jumping back in front thanks to a wild pitch by Sage Marchetko.
Tennessee has had their opportunities, but Ole Miss has been so good defensively, but offensively just continuing to put enough pressure on the Lady Vols and was able to break through in the 6th. You see there, the solo home run really got energy going for Ole Miss. Able to break the tie in the 6th.
Sage Marchetko, 11 strikeouts on the night, 1 shy of her career high, and she will face a pinch hitter, Rachel Connors, a sophomore from Chandler, Arizona, steps in there in place of Leilana Applin. Such a great night for Marchetko, but really just 2 mistakes, the home run in the 1st and that wild pitch, both costing her team runs. Connors rips one foul.
On the first at bat of the game, you tip your hat to Bunker. We've talked about it. She worked into a full count and got a pitch from Marchetko. Wasn't necessarily a bad pitch, but third or fourth time she had seen an inside pitch, was able to adjust and drive the ball well down the line. But it's the wild pitch with a runner on third. As a pitcher, you have to be cognizant of when balls in the dirt can allow hitters extra 60 feet. And in this case, so far, that's the game changer.
Two 2-1 on the way from Marjetko. And we're even. One of those 2 runs, by the way, unearned, as we said, 11 strikeouts, 1 walk so far for the junior. Again, even in their losses, they've dropped 3 of their last 5 SEC games. Pitching has been, for the most part, pretty strong. Tennessee has only allowed 3 runs per game in those SEC losses. Just looking for some support, and when the offense isn't producing, that's a really tight margin for error for this pitching staff.
Well, you have a pitching staff that allows less than 2 runs a game. And so when you're not able to score 2 runs a game, yeah, now they have to be even more perfect.
And there's strikeout number 12 for Marjetko, tying her career high.
Well, Marjetko continuing to use this drop ball into the lefty. Great spot for that, and Connor's just unable to get the barrel down to that pitch.
100th pitch of the night on the way to Ryan Starr. You can see the rain continuing to fall here. I mean, any chance at all that had an impact on the wild pitch?
It might have. You see there that Marjetko has the sticky kind of rag behind in her back pocket in order to get a grip on things.
Bunt laid down by Starr. Marjetko over to first. 2 away.
But at the same time, I feel like she's been able to be efficient and throw enough pitches even once the rain started that she'll tell you that's not why that ball got away from her.
And that's the last person who's going to make an excuse here in the series opener from Knoxville. A 2 away for Taylor Malvin here in the top of the 7th inning. This is outside. Ole Miss out hitting Tennessee tonight, 4-3. Rebels looking for their first SEC victory of the season. Malvin off the glove of Marjetko, diving play by Dodge. But obviously no throw will be made. Malvin's aboard with 2 away.
Well, Malvin, a great job just chopping this ball, stays on top. As you said, Marjetko got a piece of that, but despite the effort by Dodge, she was not going to have a speedy Malvin at first base, but does keep it in the infield to where Malvin can't think about rounding and going to second.
Back up to the top of the order, Kennedy Bunker, who homered to start off the night. Turned out, at least right now, to be a monster home run. Transfer from Fresno State. 2-0.
You can see the rain starting to come down. A little heavier.
We talked about the impact it could have on the pitchers as Poncho is now covering the faces. That is not a good sign for the weather conditions here in Knoxville. How does it impact the batter, your field of vision, looking for that pitch?
Well, right now, I'm not so sure it's hard enough that it's impacting the hitter, but there are times where it gets a little bit harder if it's not called, that you're trying to follow what's going on while seeing raindrops. And I think the other thing is just having a grip, make sure water droplets aren't coming off the bill of the helmet. But right now, this is the first time since the first inning that we've seen Marjetko looking like command is not strong at this point.
Rain temperature dropping into the 50s and below later on tonight. Bunker sends one to left center. Knight is there and makes the grab. Here we go, bottom of the 7th inning on the way. The 9, 1, and 2 hitters due up for Tennessee. Tennessee down to their last 3 outs of the night. The Lady Vols have had their opportunities, but they are 0 for 13 with runners on. Combined, both teams have left 12 on, but Ole Miss with a 1-run lead as we hit the bottom of the 7th inning. And Tennessee will send up a pinch hitter in the 9th spot. It'll be Meredith Barnhart, a freshman out of Parker, Colorado, getting a big opportunity to begin the bottom half. And the rain continues to come down.
Right now for Barnhart, it is so important to figure out how to be a leadoff hitter that can get on. Saw Sophia Knight see a ball up in the zone and drive it to left field. Ella Dodge, being left-handed, has walked twice. You know where she's pretty much going to throw you. She almost always lives on that outer half to lefties. She hasn't challenged very many of them inside.
Barnhart just 1 hit in her college career so far. It has shown a lot of patience. 9 walks in limited appearances this year, and is now ahead 2-0. For this Tennessee offense, dropped 3 of their last 5 SEC games, and in those 3 losses, 4 total runs scored by this offense.
You talk about non-conference to conference, and not like Tennessee didn't face really good arms in non-conference play. They faced plenty of ranked opponents in that 26-0 start. It's a matter of here in SEC play being able to kind of reestablish that loose feeling, seeing good pitches, driving good pitches, having quality at bats.
2-2 to Barnhart. Over to third. Starr is there in time. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Three consecutive groundouts induced by Boyer, who is 2 outs away from picking up one of the biggest victories of her career. Back up to the top of the order, Sophia Knight, who singled off Boyer in the 5th inning. That one misses.
Well, we talked about it when she was having some control issues and walking people, but Emily Boyer really trusting her defense. Only 3 fly ball outs on the night. Everything else, -2 strikeouts, have been ground ball outs by her infield. So really trusting her infield as she gets later in the game.
Ole Miss has come so close this year. 5 one-run losses, a number of 2-run losses to top 10 teams in Texas and Alabama. But on the verge here of picking up their first win in SEC play. However, Boyer now falling behind 3-0 tonight, who, if she reaches, has a ton of speed. We've seen Boyer play with fire throughout the night. 6 walks, 4 of those coming in the 3rd inning when she walked in, the only run allowed tonight. There is a strike.
Good take there by Sophia Knight, even though that was a really good pitch. She's ahead in the count.
Ole Miss hasn't won here in 18 years, and Boyer right back in the count, fooling Knight. Boyer has just 2 strikeouts so far tonight. Misses there, and Tennessee has the tying run over at first in Sophia Knight. Fans are feeling it. 7th walk issued by Boyer, and here comes Ella Dodge. She has walked twice tonight.
Again, with Sophia Knight on and 1 out, Ella Dodge has to really see a pitch that she is hunting, and it has to be up and on the plate. In this case, you're not trying to be the hero. You're just trying to pass the bat and continue to do so to put your team in the best position.
So clutch last year as a freshman. Came up huge in the postseason, couple of home runs in the Super Regional, including the one that vaulted them into the Women's College World Series. Reached base safely in every game in OKC.
Dodge, such a elite young talent, but you look at this lineup for Tennessee, Alex, there's not a single senior who started in this offensive lineup. So if Tennessee can get this offense going again, build some momentum, then next year you're looking at this same lineup.
Dodge fouls one back. Tennessee hasn't lost in this ballpark all season. In fact, their last loss here in front of these fans was to Nebraska in the Supers a year ago. A 3-1 count now from Boyer. Ole Miss looking to win here for the first time since 2008. Tennessee's undefeated streak at home on the line. And a full count on the way again.
Another full count. These lefties for Tennessee really making Boyer bring that ball over the plate. Now the adjustment has to be made to drive it opposite field.
Knight at first. Payoff pitch. Dodge over to third, knocked down by Starr, goes to second, and everybody's safe. Ole Miss's defense had been so good all night long, but now the tying run is at second.
Well, Dodge puts a charge in this one. This is a hot shot right at Starr. She tries to pick it, but makes the throw from the ground, and that just pops out of the glove of Pickens there. It was not a bad throw. A big break for Tennessee, and that's the first error we've seen from Ole Miss. And mentioned it earlier, Alex. 7-11 when they commit an error. Right now trying to add an 8th win onto that, see if they can get out of this with 2 runners on and 1 out.
Well, they got to be real careful because not only is the tying run at second, the winning run for Tennessee is over at first. Here comes Gabby Leach. She walked in the 3rd inning. Hitting .337 here during her junior season. Strike one from Boyer. Leach second on the team in homers and runs driven in. Pitch number 125 on the night from the senior, misses. Allowed the walk tonight, and Dodge reached on the fielder's choice in the error. 2-1. And some tense moments for the senior transfer, Emily Boyer. Can she get through another one? Gabby Leach went around.
You see, just continuing drop balls outside. She's mixed in a few changeups. That was the first pitch Gabby Leach saw of the at-bat. Karen Weekly seeing that Gabby Leach chased that one well off the plate, calling time to settle the junior down a little bit. You get in these moments and you want to be the one to come through, especially in a game where the offense hasn't been coming through for your pitcher. But at the same time, you have to stay calm, cool, and collected and make sure you're sticking to your plan.
Tennessee 0 for 14 with runners on. Trying to change that right now. Swing and a miss. And the biggest strikeout of the night by Emily Boyer has Ole Miss 1 out away from upsetting number 4 Tennessee.
Well, Emily Boyer just stays with this drop ball outside and it runs away from Gabby Leach. Saw her swing at it with 1 strike in that same location for strike 3. Only 3 strikeouts on the night, but none bigger than right there for Emily Boyer.
It's now up to Emma Clark, the sophomore, who fouls one off. She singled off Boyer in the second inning, walked in the third. Again, the tying run at second, winning run at first. These are the situations Karen Weekly talked about heading into this series. Taking advantage of opportunities, but now Tennessee down to their last strike. Ole Miss looking for SEC win number 1 on the year. Just misses.
And we talked to Coach Traxel before this game, and she said Emily Boyer, even last weekend against Oklahoma, was throwing some really good pitches, and then in certain situations trying to be too fine. Late in this game, 6th and 7th inning, trusting her defense.
Clark gives one a ride to center, and the ball game is over. Ole Miss upsets number 4 Tennessee as they win in Knoxville for the first time since 2008.
You see the team hugging Emily Boyer, their senior pitcher, who went the distance, kept Tennessee at bay, and despite some control issues, able to gut it out to get Ole Miss their first SEC win of the 2026 season.
Now 1-9 in conference play. Tennessee, meanwhile, falls to 29-3 overall. 6-4 in conference play. What a moment for Emily Boyer, and one of the biggest victories of her career. For Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb. Thanks so much for watching. We now send you to Austin for Texas and Oklahoma baseball.
great win, and I'm just so excited and happy to be here.
Hey, go enjoy it and celebrate the night. Congratulations.
Thank you.